Welcome to Breaking News Today. I'm Kaylee and I'll bring you the latest news on today. America's wars in Yemen, Somalia and Niger are not secret, but they manage to fly under the radar for months at a time, unless something goes dramatically well or terribly wrong. Last year, when U.S. Africa Command revealed that 4 U.S. Special Operations soldiers were killed in a fierce firefight after being ambushed in Niger, most Americans had no idea the U.S. has roughly 800 troops in the North African nation, more than were in Syria at the time.
This week, Africa Command issued a routine news release noting a previously announced U.S. airstrike was believed to have killed 60 al-Shabaab militants on October 12, the largest body count in a single strike since last November, which killed an estimated 100 enemy fighters. So far this year, the U.S. has conducted 27 strikes against Shabaab in Somalia, on pace to eclipse last year's total of 31, according to a tally by the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Long War Journal. In Yemen, a small amount of U.S. Special Operations commandos are hunting members of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula called AQAP, who continue to plot attacks against the U.S. from ungoverned parts of the country. The commandos operate separately from Saudi-led war aimed at defeating Iranian-backed Houthi rebels and installing a legitimate government. The three lesser wars are rarely talked about by Defense Secretary Jim Mattis or other senior Pentagon leaders, and often the only official reminder that hundreds of U.S. troops are engaged in dangerous combat is when an official causality notice is released. One of those came in June when it was announced Army Staff Sergeant Alexander Conrad was killed by enemy indirect fire in Somalia. Certainly, in terms of public attention, they receive much less, said David Gartenstays-Rose, a senior fellow with Foundation for Defense of Democracies. These days, America's counter-terrorism missions are pretty much fought the same way, whether they are against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or the Taliban in Afghanistan, or against other groups in Yemen, Somalia, or Niger. Small numbers of highly trained U.S. Special Operations troops provide arms and advice to local forces, accompany them to their targets, and call in U.S. air power if necessary. Technically, the American forces are not on the front lines. Instead, they hang back while partner forces do the actual fight. The strategy is designed to keep U.S. troops out of the line of fight, because recent history has shown that the support of the American people declines as American casualties increase. Still, as deaths in all the current operations underscore, there is no totally safe place in an active war zone. Support is also maintained if the conflict stays largely out of the news.
To that end, unlike the high-profile wars in Iraq, Syria and Afghanistan, the wars in Yemen, Somalia and Niger don't have operational names such inherent resolve or resolute support, missions that also have their own web pages and public affairs operations to tout their successes. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the duration of today's program. Thank you for watching.